So, what if I told you that the star of On Her Majesty's Secret Service actually stars in another film where he plays detective to figure out what's occurring? That George Lazenby himself is trying to unwind everything of seeing what happens with his daughter. Very specifically, in the film, Who Saw Her Die from 1972. This is a 2002 DVD, so it's not exactly the greatest of quality, and it does star Adolfo Colli and Anita Steinberg. And of course, Adolfo was in Danger Danger Diabolic and the Eye Patch guy in Thunderball. So we get a very interesting movie, and this one, ooh, it is not a creamy. It isn't, it's more of just a detective story going on, trying to figure out what the heck is happening here. So obviously, we have a sculptor who has a daughter and striking red hair, and the daughter is going out and playing. And we see a person dressed in a widow's outfit, with like the little mask and the widow's peak. I forgot what the mask is called. Like, we get some going around and who manages to pretty much eliminate a person in a very interesting way. And then a year later, she grabs the child Roberta, and we eventually see her body a little bit later floating down the river. And it's like, what is going on here? And as I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, what are we going to expect? Well, we get the detective story going on. And, enough that this stands out a little bit for just the. Yes, there is some gore, but there's not a lot. There's what I consider to be. It would probably detract if we had a lot of the blood. So we have combining the pieces together and talking to folks. So for this one, we have Venice this time, but Venice doesn't feel like it's a lively, amazing city. It feels austere. It feels sterile, like there's something wrong with this city. For example, there's the canals that just go on and on in a never-ending way, as if to say that there's something else going on beyond what the human eye can see, or how are all these apartments and everything going on, and how they feel palatial, Palatial, or palatial. These beautiful, opulent buildings. Yeah, the city feels a little sparse, especially with all the high-rise apartments, to give you a sense of like you are alone. And yeah, obviously, it's meant to say like, holy smokes. Yeah, it's pretty much just him putting the pieces. Unfortunately, there was one thing that did irritate me. I keep saying about the subtitles, and yes, I understand this is an early DVD release. At first, the sound edit mixing sounded good, but then it just fell apart. I'm sorry, but usually I like to read the plot summary on Wikipedia just as I'm watching, just to figure it out, but it doesn't even have the full thing, so I'm just like, wonderful. Ultimately, it is revealed that there are those that are in that what Franco is doing is the honest way of going around and trying to stop everything and putting pieces together. Then there are those in higher positions of power who want to keep their statuses and will do whatever. And as it's ultimately revealed that one of the members of a church, second movie with a church I'm reviewing tonight, went around and did it for red hair or whatever. I could not figure out the reason why for the red hair. So it was just very interesting to see. But yeah, definitely some of this definitely done, because the writing here is really top notch. It's like let's get to the point. Let's have the police come in. Let's have our hero do everything by himself. Let's have no fun. Let's have no funny dialogue. Have some problems. It's like he's got problems at home, but it gets figured out as he becomes obsessed. But he doesn't lose himself, which is a good thing. But we could see George Lazenby. He actually has a mustache. I think it's a glue-on mustache, and he acts and performs very well. Talking, walking around, and needing to be intimidating. If it's required, he actually shoves a guy trying to get some information from him who owns a lot of birds for whatever reason. And it leads to him pretty much just saving the day, figuring everything out, saving the day of like, hey, these people in the higher positions of power will try and prevent their secrets from being exposed and everything else. It's just like, yeah, that's some good stuff right there. I will say that. Arguably, Steinberg is pretty good as well, as she tries to be the anchor for our protagonist, but she's got her own struggles that she's dealing with, just trying to get everything figured out of how those two will interact. I could feel some good chemistry between them because we actually get to see like Lazenby act more, because when he was Bond previously, you could tell he was doing a good job given the material. I mean, even dressed in freaking Hillary. But here it feels more authentic because there's higher stakes more than just for the world. It's the personal stuff that matters. And I think with everything just being more grounded in reality, I think it just works better here. There is, of course, the motif, if you will, of the rot of innocence. Very specifically when we have the children playing and they get viewed on by the widow, if you will, the widower, whatever, to say that like soon they're not get woken up to the horrors of the real world, but when there's the children's motif of all the singing of the chorus motif happening, it shows like that just the childhood innocence is being ruined by some perverts out there, and it ultimately just leads to a lot of stuff happening. I think that, in my opinion, it works so dang good here. But however, it does play a lot, and I'm just thinking this is so, I don't know, it just felt half the movie was just composed of it. I got used to it. Maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't. I don't know. Ennio Morricone returns to handle the music, and he does a damn good job, in my opinion. As I'm looking at it, I could feel the height and the tension of this austere environment. It's like, let's have this cold music playing and going on that just leaves you uncomfortable. And by the way, this is like 11 years before Tenebrae. So to see that going on is just really dang cool. So, and adding with more of the austere environment, there's a scene about, roughly, what was that? An hour and 10 minutes in, we would just get a lot of fog. I don't know, just that fog worked so well. As you know, he was like, as if to say that the answer is all like shrouded in fog, and you have to cut through it with a knife or whatever to figure out what's going on. So yeah. What else? Am I missing anything else? No. I mean, I think. Oh, the actress who played the child Roberta, she was also the kid in Deep Red that also got eliminated. She would star in some other movies before ultimately becoming a doctor, and as far as I'm aware, is still a doctor according to her IMDb page. And Anita Steinberg is still alive. She was pretty much like the most beautiful Italian models, especially those striking eyes. God dang, those eyes were striking. Of course, Lazenby does a dang great job here. He's working with some of the other cops and everything. And he even has the great big mustache, which gives him a presence. Especially, I'm sorry, I forgot one particular scene when they're inside. I think it was an X-rated theater, a porno theater. Right as he's sitting there with his turtleneck sweater, a biller comes in, wraps something around a woman, and bills her. So ultimately, it just leads to that. So yeah, If you want a more of a personal story about the whodunit and politics and power and everything and whatever else, then I would recommend that you watch Who Saw Her Die.